Welcome in, everybody. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, drop me a comment. You got to click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. Guys, hope everybody is doing well. Definitely wasn't able to live stream at the normal time today, so that's why it's important that you have those all notifications on. Try to keep the community updated in the chat there. Oof, are you still there? Kyle, welcome in. Good to see you. I hope everyone is having a nice day. We're going to get into, what's up, Jorge? We're going to get into the price action today, and in particular, I wanted to take a look at the S&P with you. I wanted to take a look at traditional markets with you and kind of assess what's going on there because we are seeing some concerning signs. And so I wanted to talk about that and what we'd like to see from traditional markets in the month of November, because traditional markets can't suffer a harsh correction, and crypto's not going to, I know I've been reading a lot about this decoupling, right? Crypto and Bitcoin, in my opinion, have not decoupled one bit from traditional markets. I've hit on that too many times in the past, but did want to take a look at traditional markets, did want to take a look at Bitcoin dominance, wanted to kind of talk about when we could anticipate seeing a true alt season. Did want to talk about that because there's some interesting developments there. But before we get into the charts and we start talking about price action, had a couple things at the top of my mind that I wanted to share with everyone that I feel could benefit you. So the first thing is, there's kind of two things I thought about coming into today's live stream. The first thing is, I want you to kind of keep this close to the hip, because at some point, I'm confident that if you have this frame of mind, it will serve to benefit you and help you at some point in your life. The older you get, what you realize is that life at times can be very challenging. It can be very challenging in ways that if you're not old enough, you'll find out. But it can sort of throw you curveballs, right, that you're not anticipating, and things that are quite honestly very difficult, And I want you to keep this Bible passage in mind. No, we're not going to get religious, but it is a passage from the Bible. It's very brief. And no matter what your faith is, it's something that I think could serve to benefit you. Never lose this perspective. And the phrase is, "This too shall pass." The reality is, whatever hardships you're going through in life, you can, especially if you're a strong person, you're positive and you're strong-willed, I'm sure you can look back at those moments in time, and as hard and difficult as they were, you're still here today, right? You got through it. It's a period in time. It's a brief period in time in the grand scheme of things, and it'll pass. So keep that in mind. And the second thing that I wanted to share with you, I spend quite a bit of time on this channel trying to share all sorts of different things with you guys to help you be successful, right? We come out here, I chart price data, I try to, give you my best in terms of what I'm seeing in the charts, have an honest conversation with you. And one of the other things that I hit on very routinely is to have a game plan, how you're going to sell your investments, right? Because if you don't know today how you plan to scale out, at DC, just like you DCA it, just like you dollar cost average into your investments, you DCA into those investments, you have to DCA out of your investments, right? You got to know those logical areas, right? And that's very critical to the success that you will have in this market, right? Because at some point, we are going to sort of enter a parabolic trajectory, and you best be selling out at that point, because if not, what I've said, what analogy I've given. A parabola, as beautiful on the way up as it is, it's like a tree with no tree branches, and when you fall, you can't latch onto anything, and you could fall all the way to the bottom, right? So you got to have that plan. But the other thing that I wanted to hit on, and I was spending some time thinking about that. Oof, it's still here. Let's fucking go. The other thing I spent some time thinking about, it's normal, it's human. We all doubt ourselves at different points. But I really believe there is something in manifesting your successes. I truly believe that. I believe that, and this goes with really anything that you have in life, whatever your passions are, but here we're talking about financial success in this market. I believe very firmly that you need to visualize your success in this market. No, you can't just wish something to happen and sit back. Okay, I'm not unicorns and rainbows here, and believe in leprechauns. But no, really, you need to not just do the hard work and the due diligence and put it in. You need to believe in yourself, and you need to visualize that success. And I believe if you have that type of a mindset and you literally visualize what is going to happen, it is significantly going to increase the likelihood that you will be successful with, in this case, your investments. Something that I really want you to think about. You need to visualize it, and you need to believe in yourself. Think about that. All right, let's get into price action here. So you can see originally we're on a 4-hour chart. We just took a look at this yesterday on Bitcoin. You know, I had is TradingView going to work for me? No? Let me make sure my VPN is paused. We're just going to turn that off and not even pause it. Okay. I had a bull flag drawn like this, right? Now, the question is, this broke down. Is this pattern invalidated? No, it is not. I'm not making things up. As the price data develops, the pattern can change and still be valid, right, that you've drawn. You could have something like this, just to let everybody know. You could have something that forms like this, okay? You could have a flat top, or you could do something like this. This is still a bull pennant. You could have something like this, right? This is a bull pennant. You could have something drawn like an ascending triangle. I mean, you can draw this so many different ways. The point is, the bull pennant is still very much in play. Just want to bring that to everybody's attention. That small time frame. Now, on the daily, it looks like we're definitely going to get that golden cross by Saturday. So that's very good news. Again, smaller time frame, but we're going to get that close above where we're at here. It's gonna result in this 50 crossing above the 200 to create that golden cross. You can see this RSI is significantly high. Never actually took a look at this before to see when we're this high. Okay, here's a period where we were super high and we just continued churning higher. So I'm gonna take a closer look at that actually to see how prices responded. One of the main things I wanted to hit on with you guys is this chart. Now, I think of any indicator, okay, or anything in particular, me personally, what I'm going to be looking for this week, and I've stressed it actually during this week, I believe the number one thing you should look for, if you had to watch one thing this week when we close Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay, and I'll definitely consider going live so that we can look at it together, especially because guys, I'm going to be out of commission for my live streams, just as a heads up. And I'll remind you next week, I'm going to more than likely be out the entire week of November the 6th, right? So I will be away. I'm not even really going to be on Twitter much or have the availability to do it. So I'll kind of be out of commission on the week of November 6th, but I should be back the week of November 13th, right? So just to keep everybody current there, all right? So it'd be nice to get a few extra live streams in where I can. Yeah, so next week will be the last time I'm live streaming for like a week or so, which is going to suck, but it is what it is. The number one thing I'm going to be watching for, and I want everyone here to watch for, okay, the RSI. And again, I understand I've said this countless times, there's no one price indicator, there's no one chart that's going to definitively tell you anything, but we just spoke yesterday to the historical significance of the RSI on the weekly once we get it closing above 70. We're right there at 70. If this thing can just manage to close even a pinch above 70, or for that matter, maybe it has to just be at 70. Regardless, if it closes 70 or above, This is significantly, based on what we looked at yesterday, significantly increasing the likelihood, even if next week we get a week of consolidation, it's really increasing the likelihood that we're going to get further movements up. Now, I had tweeted out today, my main expectation for this year, it has not changed. I expect and want to see us closing between $35,500 to $48,000 by the end of the year. I think it's possible, based on some fib retracement levels, I think it is possible we could touch $52,000 this year. I think it's a lower probability scenario, but I could see us going as high as $48,000 this year. Now, something else I want to hit on that ties into that. I identified a region, and it differs a little bit from what Tony the Bull BTC had tweeted out. Originally, I had a line drawn here too, which means we would be above it at about 32,000. But I am drawing the similarity that back in the period in time, okay, when we were in 2019 and 20, all right, there was a major zone of resistance. These black lines here, let's kind of zoom in here. You can see the way I have these drawn, the price confluence. Let me show you this, just so you understand how I drew this and didn't draw that out of my ass. There's a wick here, a wick here, a wick here. Like once we got below this region, you can see we fell, right? Once we got above it, we blasted off. You can see we couldn't get above it, couldn't get above it. Almost touched there, okay? All this area, couldn't get above it. Okay, couldn't get above it. And finally, boom, we blasted up, right? Now, that region back in 2009, and really it was 2018. So 2018 through 2020, that was between $10,000 to $12,000, right? I am drawing, and you can see once the other thing I'd like to point out about this $10,000 to $12,000 range back then was that once you broke 12,000, look at the price confluence that existed above it. This is the only price confluence, 2 candlesticks, right? Not a lot of price data. So oftentimes, as I say, once we get above that area of resistance, it's a beautiful thing because we've wiped all of this out. All of this price data has been wiped out. And now we're dealing with 2 candlesticks, right? So that's why that $10,000 to $12,000 area was such a significant area of resistance to get above. And you can see we closed above it at October. Now, I'm also going to be drawing, keep this in mind, I really need you to pay attention to this. I'm also going to be looking at another chart to draw a comparison today where we're at. It's looking eerily similar in a good way, by the way. It's looking really eerily similar where we're at today, just like we were at in the fourth quarter of 2020. It's looking very, very similar, okay, at the moment. A lot of this, history likes to, it doesn't like to repeat, but it likes to often rhyme. So it'll be very interesting to see where we end the year. November is going to be a really important month. Of course, we still need to close this month out. We still have 5 days left here. But November is shaping up to be a very important month, okay, as well as this monthly close. Now, let's go to the present point in time. Now, the reason I decided to draw these lines here, and it made sense, versus drawing them a little bit lower, it could have even debated to draw this at 38. Once we get above 45 to 47, look at the price confluence, first off, that we've eliminated. We've eliminated all of this price action. All of this is done. We're done with all that. Now, I'm talking about a candle body close, okay? Now, look at the price confluence we have. We literally just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candlesticks. And look at all these down here, right? So once we get it has to be a candle body close. Once we get a candle body close in that $45,000 to $47,000 area, which could possibly be as early as November, guys, off to the races. You got to understand, I'm coming at this, I always come at this from a logical perspective. If we get, let's say it happens in November, a monthly close at or above $45,000 to $47,000, our odds are significantly increasing that within a short period of time, within a few months, we're going to be attacking all-time highs at 64 to 69,000. You do know that my view is the market actually topped here. Now, I've tried to make this distinction before, and this goes against the grain of what most people say. Our all-time high was 69. Maybe I should create a video just highlighting why I believe that's the case. The all-time high is $69,000, but the market really topped at 64 based on the wave count, okay? And there are other charts I've pointed to before that show that lend credence to that notion, okay? Regardless, once we get that monthly close above this area, 64,000 is going to be in our crosshairs within a couple months, if not the first month. I mean, maybe we start going higher than I anticipated by end of year. I mean, it's not, I will say this, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that I could be incorrect, and I would be happily incorrect, if we started attacking all-time highs by the end of this year. I don't think that's going to happen, but it is a possibility for sure. So this chart is certainly going to be very interesting in terms of how we print for October, guys. We've looked at these indicators yesterday. Everything is going in the right direction for us. Now, why also do I think that things are just eerily similar? And maybe I shouldn't be using the word eerily because it's actually a positive statement that I'm making here. Things are looking very similar to the fourth quarter of 2020. I want you to, and I'm going to draw one distinction though, one difference. Look at what's going on in the S&P. Now, all the while, again, I've tried to keep you guys on track in terms of what I'm seeing, which is very different from the popular narrative with the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 accounts in this space on Twitter Spaces, okay, and on YouTube. But I shared with you guys, after crypto, like if we go to this monthly chart here, after Bitcoin had this big run up in the first quarter going into April, we went sideways and down, right? And if you look at the S&P over that same period of time, we continued, this is March, we continued to move up all the way into August, right? Okay? And I said to you guys back then, I said to you then and I said to you now, nothing is becoming uncorrelated. Equity markets and crypto are still correlated. Yes, the stock market is outpacing crypto and Bitcoin, but I think that Bitcoin and crypto are going to catch up to that in the fourth quarter, right? When you zoom out at a higher time frame view, the positive correlation does exist. At times, at shorter periods of times, there are deviations. They're not going to be one for one in terms of moves. I've tried to stress this point so many different times before. People just are not seeing this for some reason. But when you zoom out and look at it from a big picture perspective, you see there's little deviations, small deviations at different points, but they're still positively correlated, high level, right? Now look at the deviation that has occurred here. If we look at August through October, look what the look what the S&P has done. The S&P is down, it's down like almost 10%, right? What has Bitcoin done? Bitcoin, from August to October, look what we've done. Okay? We've gone up 33%, okay? So quite the deviation, right? Now the question you have to ask yourself is, has this dynamic ever been presented in these charts before? And the answer is yes. And this is what I tweeted out earlier today. And now we're going to take a look at it because I put the tweet out there, but I did not provide any supporting evidence. I said, look at the chart. I put it on the viewer on Twitter, the viewer on Twitter to go look at the charts, okay? Now, if we go back in time, and we're going to start with the S&P first, just like we did here, okay? If we go back in time, very similarly to 2020, and the reason I'm looking at 2020, there's a lot of similarities. At the end of 2020, for those of you who were not here, at the end of 2020, going into 2021, that's when CBG was going fucking ballistic. I was putting out crazy videos. I was in true crypto bull god form. I was dressed up as the Macho Man Randy Savage, for those who have not been here. I will return to that form at some point. I had a lot of what I would consider cheesy, comical videos. I enjoy doing stuff like that. Guys, it's just who I am. I really don't care. Some of you guys love it. Some of you guys think it's too over the top, but I enjoy doing those things. I really do. So What I want to do is I want to look at that similar point in time and ask, well, what did the S&P do? Okay. Well, look at September. Okay. Now in this case, it was only 2 months. But if we look at September to October, we were down almost 8%. What did Bitcoin do over the same period of time? If we go back to, we're on the same chart. If we go to Bitcoin and we look at August and September of 2020, or no, wait, it's September and October, I think. Sorry, I'm losing my... Yes, this was September and October, excuse me. From September, October, we were down roughly 8%. What did Bitcoin do? From September to October, Bitcoin went up 44%. Now, are you calling that Bitcoin becoming uncorrelated to risk assets? No. Obviously, when we went through this massive correction, if we were truly uncorrelated, then wouldn't Bitcoin have done very well? No, equity markets, if you come back here, clearly equity markets corrected with us, right? But there was a small deviation. That's when you zoom out here, the general flow is very similar if we look at the S&P. It's just sometimes there's those few months there where there's a little bit of a deviation. One sort of falls behind, but then it respectively catches up several months later. You see what I'm saying? So what is similar right now, the similarity I'm drawing, is that right now in the same quarter, the fourth quarter of this year, we are seeing a deviation in the stock market going down as Bitcoin is going up. Now, a couple thoughts here, okay? The first is, it's absolutely concerning to me, and I told you this much. It's absolutely mildly, not extremely, but mildly concerning if we get a monthly close like this. And the reason is not only, this is the S&P, not only is this a bearish candlestick, we would be closing below the 21 exponential moving average we get across down on the MACD, right? Now, in times past when we've done this, you can see back here, okay, you can see we got a cross below. We were already negative. It was a non-event. We went up. Here we got our close below, and we had a correction. Here we had a close below. This is the beer virus, and you can see the next month, a massive move up, right? V-shaped recovery. Here we had a close below and a MACD cross, negative, a non-event. Here, we went through this before, actually, interestingly enough. Here, we actually had a MACD cross way back here, but here we got a close below right here. Essentially a non-event because we continued going up, right? So it's concerning, but the statistics actually in those past several events that has happened, it's actually not been overly concerning whatsoever. We've actually made a recovery, all right? The other thing that I wanted to mention, oh man, this is what happens when you get old. There was another point that I wanted to make. This was the other point I wanted to make. Keep in mind, and this is something that I've shared on this channel again very routinely, and we'd have to, what will be interesting, and I'll have to put this on my mental list of things to do. Maybe we can look at this together next week. You got to ask yourself, okay? Is the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party is who is head honcho, it's Joey B, all right? Joey B. You know, I took a road trip at the beginning of the year. It was such an awesome trip. We took a trip from northern Florida all the way up to Pennsylvania to see my family, and then drove back. And we made all these stops going everywhere. And I remember this. We stopped at Washington, D.C., and I saw a helicopter flying over. I was like, there goes Joey B. Anyway, just that's coming to me right now. So Joey B is in office right now. He's probably napping right now. The shit's late, 7:30. Dude is not awake right now. He's probably napping. But the whole point is, do you think that Democratic president and his administration want a weak stock market going into elections? Like, do you really think we're going to see a downfall in the stock market going into Joe Biden wanting to be reelected as president, which we're not going to get into politics. More than likely, he won't be running. More than likely, somebody will be supplanting him. But the whole point is, will the Democratic Party want the stock market to collapse? No, they're going to do everything they can to artificially prop up the stock market. And you know the way that they do that. They print money. Okay? So they can label it, they can put a nice little bow on a pig, but at the end of the day, you can see that we're entering a war. We're coming into narratives now, just because I think for some people it'll help illustrate the point. We're entering a war that we're choosing to enter. We're not going to get into that conversation. We've chosen to enter many wars. We're going to print money, right? Which is going to lead to more inflation. That has traditionally been good for equity markets and crypto. I don't think that there is a snowball's chance in hell. As much as this is looking a little bleak right now, I think this is mildly concerning. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that the administration will honestly allow this to happen. I don't see that happening. I do not see this happening. Okay? What I could see happening is either a sharp reversal bullish engulfing candle like we got here. Remember during the deviation we spoke to here, a bullish engulfing candle. Maybe we get a sideways candle next month and then a push up. But I think by the end of this year, I'm still going to put my neck out there by saying this, and I'm going to stick with my original thesis that the stock market will make new all-time highs before the end of the year or the early part of next year. And the way October is printing, more than likely, unless if we get some bullish momentum coming in towards the end of the month, more than likely it's going to be the first quarter of next year. But I still see the stock market putting in new all-time highs. That's where I stand. I don't think the administration is going to allow the stock market to roll over. They'll do their quantitative easing where they need to do their quantitative easing, right? So there's a lot that I threw out at you there. There's a lot of similarities to the fourth quarter of 2020. There are some concerning things I'm seeing in the S&P. I want to get to the comments in the moment. But there's one other chart. You can see I was looking at Fetch AI. Damn, this thing has been a strong mover. I wish I would have gotten in back here. But there's so many great investments. I mean, I feel fantastic about my crypto holdings. I was just looking at my updated portfolio position earlier while I was waiting to be able to go on my live stream, kind of assessing things. I feel very good about how I'm positioned. But Fetch AI, kind of wish I got into this one back here when it was consolidating. But in any event, excuse me. One other thing I wanted to comment on. How are the OG coins looking, by the way? Digibyte's up 5. We were up, I think, 7 or 8% at one point. Now, I identified, and this is definitely, hopefully everyone's, hey, thumbs up, everybody. I do not see enough thumbs up for everybody here. If you really appreciate the content and it resonates with you and is making sense, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. This is perhaps, this is one of the most important points that I'm making, because a lot of people are very, very interested, rightfully so am I. When are altcoins actually going to start doing something, right? When are we going to see another big move in altcoins? Because really, the way I would frame it is, we have two big moves in general coming up in altcoins. Now, you're going to have your outliers, right? Your chain links are running. Your Solanos are running. Caspa has been running all year, and I don't think that's going to stop. I think that's going to be another outlier. I still see it as a top 20, potentially top 10 coin when it's all said and done next year. Okay, I'm going to reiterate that one. But in general, for your altcoins, you're going to have two big runs. The first one is going to come when we top out in this zone. Now, I've spoken to this zone between 53 to 58% being the most likely zone. I've seen the calls for as high as 62 from technicians whom I respect. I totally do not think that it's out of the realm of possibility that Bitcoin dominance could top. We get a wick. It's not going to be something that's going to stay up there, but a wick towards 62. That wick towards 62 would represent a huge leg up in Bitcoin while the altcoins are remaining stagnant. At that point, we have that wick. You're going to see it come down as altcoins start to make their run. Okay, so this is the general. Let me see. I extended this out till January. Yeah, so I think, and I'll leave it until January 22nd. I think that's I think it would actually be lower time frame than that. I might actually back this off. I don't think it's going to extend that late. Maybe until I'll keep it till the 15th. We're going to top out right in this zone, time-wise too. I think no later than by mid-January. But it's not just the price data. It's the relative strength index once again. This historically is our topping zone for RSI. You can see here we barely touched the top here, okay, and rolled over for a massive alt season. Here we topped here, and you can see we declined. The RSI, once we get up into this level historically, that is when Bitcoin dominance tops out, and you can anticipate that during this time, once we actually see some sort of a retracement like this, your altcoins, what's going to happen is you might be seeing either some smaller moves in Bitcoin up or some small consolidation down. I could see this being the situation where Bitcoin makes its ultimate top for this year. Maybe we top out at 48, right, or close to $48,000. And as it starts to correct towards 42, 41, 43, then your altcoins start running. I think your first decent alt run should occur, okay? It's going to be interesting to come back to this and see if I'm correct. I think your first decent altcoin run after this tops out, it's going to be starting in November, December, January. That's where I see it. November, December, January. Meaning we're going to top out here in November, December, January, right? Eventually we'll come down, we'll recover. We might hold this line. We might break it. In any event, Bitcoin's then going to, if we break the trend line, Bitcoin's going to come up again. If we break the trend line, I don't think it's going to get back above it. At some point, it's going to have its blow off top. And now when we start really breaking down on the RSI, and this is really breaking down, which I think we're going to set new all-time lows in Bitcoin dominance. I still believe that's going to happen. This final plummet here, right? Remember, it's getting a little crazy. The initial fall that we see in Bitcoin dominance once we're up in this zone, again, my view is between November and January. Once we see it top out in a fall, it means Bitcoin's consolidating. Little moves up, little moves down, right? But your altcoins are going to be running pretty damn hard. You're going to see them up 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. Okay? Big moves in altcoins. Some of the smaller market caps, 100% plus. Okay? Wouldn't even be surprised for a meme coin like Doge to see it up 100% in one day. Okay? Digibyte goes up 5 million% in one day. No, but Digibyte will also be running hard. Okay? But the big run is when we get that once Bitcoin, wherever, out here in the first quarter, I'm really, you pick me for a 3-month time window between April and June. Could be as late as July, but April to June. When Bitcoin has its blow off top, as it's exceeding its prior all-time high at $70,000 and above, after that happens, and then we start coming, your altcoins are going to be running so fucking hard, in my opinion. So fucking hard. And that's the point. If you weren't scaling out, maybe some of you want to scale out on this run and reposition and trade. That's fine. I might consider doing that with some of my positions. But the majority of all of my positions are not going to be getting sold out into this latter drop in dominance where Bitcoin has exceeded its prior all-time high and it starts setting new all-time highs. Okay, once Bitcoin has that blow off top, that's when we're really going to get that run. So I hope that all of that made sense. I hope that was helpful. Evan, you're cooking right now. Do you mind sharing what you're cooking? I just saw that. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. There's the couldn't agree more, man. It's all a mindset. What I've thought to myself, and I'll share it. I'll share some things a couple months kind of down the road here. What's going on, because I think this story that I can share with you about some things going on in my own life. The reason I choose at some point down the road to open up and share those things is because I, honest to God, believe that it could benefit at least one person. And if I think the story could benefit at least one person, I'm going to share it with you guys. And I agree with you. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. The Rocky movie. The Rocky movie. I think it was the first new Rocky movie that came out when Stallone was older. And he gave that speech about life is not easy and it'll kick you and punch you when you're down. That whole speech, man, that it gives me goosebumps to this day listening to, because it's true, man. I mean, everybody, you gotta rationalize things and put things in perspective. There are things that all of us go through which are difficult in life. There are so many other people out there in the world that are going through so much more difficult things in their life, and you can either remain blessed and thankful for what you have in your life and stay strong and say, I'm going to get through this. I've been through tough shit before. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to be fine. Or you can turtle up and you can feel sorry for yourself if that's who you want to be. It's just not going to benefit you. I'm the GOAT. Man, I think you're being too kind, Oof. I think you're being too kind. I really appreciate that. 24 hours till ETF. I'm not sure what the date is. I don't know. I thought the time window had collapsed for this week, but we'll see. Again, I don't think that news narrative drives charts at all. I just told you that we're in a bull pennant here. So if we do get a breakout tomorrow, in times like this, guys, don't be surprised if you see a break of the bull pennant Saturday or Sunday. I remember some of the most significant moves coming in Bitcoin over the weekend, if you haven't been here long enough. So I wouldn't even be surprised to see this thing break over the weekend. So we'll keep an eye on it, though, together. What else we got? Oh my God, Evan, thank you. What the fuck is going on with that? These pop-ups, they're so fucking annoying. What chart was I looking at? I was looking at fucking Doge. I was looking at Doge and all this shit started popping up. I had an S&P chart up. And all this stuff started popping up on my screen. I just refreshed the screen to get rid of it. I'll have to figure out the option to get that off my screen, but it was so frustrating. I'm glad there's someone else out there, Evan, that can relate to me. RFK would be cool. I've heard a lot of good stuff that he's shared, for sure. Bring back the Trump memes. Yeah. Trump memes are pretty funny. Some of the Biden memes are funny as well. Yeah, I don't want to get into a war political thing. All I'll say is, and I know at least one person here who's from Israel, and she actually just found out that she said a good friend of hers died in Israel. I had tweeted out I tweeted something out on Twitter a little while ago. It's a Megadeth song. It's called Holy Wars. And I listened to the song so much, I know all the lyrics to the song. But it really does never make sense to me, these holy wars where people are killing each other. And it's just sad. It's just sad. It's just sad that people... I don't know. We're all human beings at the end of the day. The fact that people... I just can't get them in... I literally don't understand, there was this mass shooter in Maine. It sounds like he wasn't right in the head. But if there is someone right in the head and not with a mental condition, I don't understand the mentality to get a gun and start killing people. I just don't Like I don't. There are things in life I'll just never be able to relate to or understand. I guess thankfully, but sad that it's going on. World peace. Yeah. Checking in. I made it in before you were done. Welcoming Cassius. CBG on fire. Brother Ned, I am always on fire. Thank you so much. Who cares about Pepe? I got Doge. I feel good. Share the view there, Ricky, on altcoins. Thank you. I'm glad you see some value in some of the messaging that I'm putting out there. I genuinely do it to try to, even if it's one person to help somebody, it makes me feel good to know at least one person the message was well received. So that's good. That's why I always say carry it forward, by the way. There's more meaning behind that statement I've explained in the past, but yeah, you got to take things that are positive in your life and you got to carry those things forward to help other people out. That's my view. Asian Zing Shrimp and Rise. I have no idea. Oh, Asian. Okay, you're talking about what you're cooking. Asian Zing Shrimp and Asian Zing Shrimp. I'm really curious what that is. Oh, excuse me. I got a little tired. Asian Zing Shrimp. My sleeping schedule hasn't been the best lately, so full transparency, I took some sleep medication right before this live stream. So that's why I think my energy levels are a little bit lower right now. It's kicking in. I'm feeling a little wonky right now. I'm definitely ready to go to bed. That's how I feel. Just haven't been sleeping the best. Asian Zing Shrimp. Ooh, this sounds good. Anything spicy, really, at the end of the day, I really appreciate spicy stuff. No, I have not looked at WTK. I don't think I'm going to have time for TA questions today, guys. But I will be on the live stream tomorrow. I do have plans this weekend, but I don't have any plans tomorrow. So if I don't have any plans tomorrow, there's no reason I won't come out here and live stream, especially if we get some really good price action in the market. We get this bull flag breakout here. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of shit running here. So good old Zcash and Dash sitting at $28. Bitcoin Cash 247. Monero. 8 of them are supposed to release. Sorry, Evan, I'm not sure what you were talking about. 8 out of 10. Take out the human error. Buffalo Wild Wings. I haven't been there in a long time, but man, you're speaking my language. I was just having a conversation with one of my friends, the guy I went golfing with, and I said, what is your weakness, like, in eating, you know? I said, mine is, like, more salty. Like, give me some, like, chicken fingers, French fries. There were times I was going out with someone, we would get truffle fries. Those were always very good. Chicken wings. I got some frozen chicken wings in the freezer. I haven't had any in a while, actually. But when I feel the need, the thing is, I've shared this with you before, I have no cheat days. I don't believe in cheat days. If it works for you, go for it. I believe that if you're routinely eating very healthy, you exercise really rigorously, you're very consistent about it, there's no reason on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, maybe it's 2 days in a row, maybe it's a Saturday or Sunday or whatever, you want some fucking chicken wings? Go have yourself chicken wings. It's about moderation, you know? People shouldn't feel trapped in their dietary preferences. They should feel like they enjoy eating healthy foods, and if they get a craving for something that isn't the healthiest, it's not going to be the end of the world. That's my view for long-term success. Chicken tender wrap with a shot at Woo-wee! There we go. Now, the only thing I would change, chicken tender wrap with a shot of tequila. I like what I'm hearing. I'd probably do 3 shots of tequila. I mean, that's just me. I love me some tequila. In fact, when we went out golfing, funny story about golfing. Yeah, I didn't share any videos or anything. There was one funny video I was going to share on Twitter about golfing, but when we went out shooting golfing, I brought my own special beverage with me, and it was basically just tequila, lime, and some bubbly lime juice. And then I brought some other drinks with me. I don't know if you guys know ranch water. I've shared on here before. I didn't drink any of those though. The tequila was enough. But I guess there's a thing in golf where if you get a eagle or if you get par, it's either par or eagle, you do shots. I don't know what the sayings are, mid-round, okay, after hole 9, once you're halfway through. So my buddy, I certainly didn't get par, although I have handicap. So sometimes when I feel like I'm close, I give myself a swing or two. So I got a few pars and eagles on there because, I was being a little generous to myself. You gotta have a little pity for CBG. He's an amateur golfer. Never taken a lesson in my life to this point. But he made par, so we went in and we took a shot at tequila. But they're so generous on their shots of tequila at this golf course. I love going to this golf course because the woman, the waitress there, she's so generous. We're like, yeah, we'll take 2 shots of Casa Amigos. She stands there, you're expecting like her to measure it out, put a shot in. She's just pouring him like, Jesus Christ, I am about to get shit-faced here because this is... so I was feeling it by definitely like the 7th hole, but then going into the 10th hole, I was really feeling it after that tequila shot. So yeah, it was a good time, very good time. I'm buying Harmony from Stransberry Report. Seems good to me. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Ricky, if you want to DM me, I don't know about the Transberry Report. I'm a big Harmony supporter, holder of that project. Can you DM me? I don't know what the hell you're talking about with the Transberry Report. I'd appreciate it, my friend, if you could take a second just to DM me. Ned, come back tomorrow. I'll take TA questions. I'm not going to do any today. I don't have the time. I want to relax a little before bed. So if you got a question on Jasmine and you're here tomorrow, I promise you I will chart it. Come back tomorrow. If BTC hits 50,000, you got to smoke a joint on the stream. Well, first off, I don't smoke. Full transparency, I don't do weed. So you seem stressed. I'm not stressed, my friend. I'm just... Do I really seem stressed to you guys? I'm not really... I do have some stressors in my life right now, but like all in all, I think I'm doing pretty fucking well handling the situation. I think I'm just a little chill this evening. I feel very chill because quite honestly, I think that sleep medication is kicking in. Like I'm feeling a little just like, woo, even keel right now, guys. Probably not good that I'm drinking a glass of wine too with it, but no, do I seem stressed? I hope I don't. I just probably a little less, not as enthusiastic today. I'm just feeling a little out of it. Yeah. All right, guys. I promise to be back with a little bit more enthusiasm tomorrow. Sorry. But definitely not going to be smoking any joints on the stream. Don't think if someone from my job found that out, that would go over well. I don't think you seem stressed. Well, that's good. Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like when I come on here, I come on pretty chill. So... All right, guys, look, take care of yourselves. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Now, I don't know, and I don't know how easy it is for you guys to join the live stream at different times. I don't know what time I will live stream tomorrow. There's always a chance that if things are getting crazy and it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I could live stream. My day's pretty open tomorrow. I don't have any meetings. There's a lot of stuff I need to get done, but... and I will be on the phone at least with one individual concerning a project we have. But, I could live stream even around 3 or 4 Eastern Standard Time, So just make sure, I'm out of it. Make sure to just turn those notifications on. Thank you, Ned. Make sure, good to see you there tomorrow, and I'll answer your TA question. So guys, thank you for the support. Like, I really appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me. I love doing these live streams. I really do. I love charting and sharing the information with you. So thanks for tuning in. And until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Take care, everybody. Good to see you.